Hey everyone, I'm Zuki and I want to welcome you to this podcast. There is a section of the society that believes women empowerment is to blame for the failure in most modern marriages. And this belief is deeply rooted in the conversation about traditional woman and the modern woman. And when I speak of traditional woman, I'm talking about women with qualities like nurturing, dependent on men and society in general, submissive. They strongly uphold societal norms. So those are some of the qualities that define a traditional woman. And when we talk about the modern woman, we're talking about a woman with qualities like independent. She has a career, she has her dreams that she gets to go after those dreams. We talk about being empowered. She has rights. She can choose what to do with her life. We talk about being open-minded, being able to make decisions that don't necessarily go with what society expects them to do. And if to clearly understand the idea of the modern woman, we have to go back to the suffrage movement. So for those who don't know, the suffrage movement was a women rights movement in the 1800s that was designed to try and achieve women rights and gender equality. So with key figures like Susan B. Anthony, Sojourner Truth, they actually did a lot of work in achieving these women rights, in making sure that women get to choose. There is gender equality, to make sure that women have choices, freedom like of voting. And if you look at the modern marriage, you realize that the modern woman is a central figure in modern marriage, and the principal factor in modern marriage is choice. So if you had to look at traditional marriages and the modern marriages, you realize there is that aspect of choice. Women get to choose what kind of a marriage they want, what kind of a man they want to be with, and they also have the choice to just walk away. So as compared to the traditional marriages, the marriage wasn't based on choice as far as the woman is concerned. She didn't get to choose. She had to be married for her to survive, for her kids to survive. So that has changed with the modern woman, where she gets to choose so if she chooses to be in a marriage, it's her choice. She doesn't do it out of need. It's not a duty, it is a choice. And if you look at the blame that goes around, that the reason why marriages are not necessarily working the way they used to, that it's because women have become too empowered, and that's why marriages don't work. That's an ignorant and ill-informed outlook on things, because for women to be able to choose has nothing to do with the reason why modern marriages fail. So if you were to compare the modern marriage and the traditional marriage, you realize that it's all about choice versus need. So in the traditional marriage, the woman needed to be married. She needed to be in the marriage to survive. In the modern marriage, she doesn't have to be married. She chooses to be married, which changes things, which changes everything, and how we look at our marriages. And so the blame on women empowerment as a reason for failure in marriages is unfair, and it is a very shallow look perspective on marriage. So in the past, if you were to look at the traditional woman, the way things had to be, she had to stay married because she needed to. It was her duty. So there are two reasons why marriages in the past may seem more successful as compared to the modern marriages. And one of those reasons is the society expected the woman to stay married, and the marriage had to work. In fact, it was a taboo. The woman was ostracized for leaving the marriage. So if you look at that, you could say, so that was one of the reasons. The other reason will be she needed to be in the marriage, because women were not allowed to have choices. Women were not allowed to own property. They were not allowed to have careers. So it meant that the man was the sole provider. So she had to stay in the marriage. It was her duty to be in the marriage so that she can get her needs met. So so in the modern marriage, it's all about choice, which means she has to want. If she wants to be in the marriage, then she can be in the marriage. Otherwise, she doesn't have to. It is not her duty to be married. It's her choice. If she chooses not to be in that marriage, then all is well. So those two factors, choice and societal pressure, having changed the way things are, it is easy to just look at those two things and say, oh, this is the reason why marriages can't work now. But that has nothing to do with the reason why marriages don't work, because there are so many other factors that we have to look at. And if we are to be honest with ourselves, if we are to be honest with ourselves, we have to understand also the role of men in all this. Because in the past, men were providers. It was part of their nature to be providing, to be the protectors of the family. But that has changed. The woman now can provide for herself. So that changes things in a very drastic manner. And unless the man is willing to evolve and understand this and accept these things, and also unlearn the false perspectives, that the old perspectives of the woman, understand the new perspective of the modern woman, it's always going to be difficult for a man to be able to have a marriage with this strong, independent modern woman. So these are the things. These are very important things that the man has to understand, that it's necessary for him to learn and unlearn learn new ways and unlearn the old ways of how to deal with women, if the marriage is to work. Because at the end of the day, it is men who need to adapt, not the other way around. Because to tell women to go back to their traditional ways is just unfair and also unrealistic. Because why should they want to go back to when they didn't have rights, when they didn't have access to property, they didn't have access to the employment system? Why would they want to choose that? So things are better for them because they get to have those choices. On the other hand, it's the man now who has to adapt to this, to the modern woman. Otherwise, it becomes a fight that he can't win. So so for the woman to get to be with the person she wants to be with, and get to be able to walk away if she doesn't feel then her needs met, that is actually a win for the women's rights movement, because it shows that she doesn't need to stay where she doesn't want to be. So so we're looking at that marriage in the modern woman perspective. It's important to understand where women are coming from as far as the women's rights movement is concerned, the suffrage movement is concerned, and understand that this, where they are now and what they have achieved to get their rights, to get to be in careers, to do the things they want to do, it is a big achievement. And it points out an important thing in human evolution, that the purpose of humans here is not just to be married and do just one specific thing. They get to do what they want, and that can change every day. So looking at this, I realized that there is a role for men to play in this. So if they want the modern marriage to be successful, they also have to change some things, change some ways, and understand that the modern woman is not the same as the traditional woman that they still believe in their minds. So as I come to the close of this episode, I hope this episode challenges you. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you get to understand that for women, love is more powerful when when one chooses it freely, and not when they choose it out of duty or out of fear. So that's very important to understand, that for the woman to be able to choose love freely, without fear or duty or to meet some societal demands, is a great achievement for the women's rights movement. So I hope this episode has challenged you in a way that it got you thinking about what men can do in this in the modern marriage, to improve the success of modern marriage. So I hope you've learned something, and I hope you get to subscribe to this channel. And also I hope if you have something to say, please leave it in the comment section. So thank you for watching, and I hope I get to see you next time. So thank you.